It was shocking how fast the speeds were and how long it was allowed to happen.
It's now been nearly 1 month since Trip Mims lost his wife T in a car crash in the Rose Park neighborhood of Salt Lake City. The car she was in was hit by a suspected DUI driver, allegedly leading a North Salt Lake police officer on a chase.
Fox 13's Brian Schnee spoke to him today about the changes he's pushing for to keep this sort of devastating thing from happening to other families.
This crash happened at over 75 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone in a neighborhood.
On October 16th, the truck being followed by police slammed into another car in a Rose Park neighborhood.
The officer was also traveling that same speed.
The pursuit began in North Salt Lake, continued on I-15 before exiting the freeway and venturing into a residential area. The crash took the life of T. Vu Mims and badly injured her passenger, Deanna Martin.
T wasn't a stat. She's not a number. Unfortunately, she is included in this group that I'm talking about. And without proper policy, families are ripped apart violently.
T's husband is now fighting for change. Just last week, he and his son were here on Utah's Capitol Hill speaking with legislators about policies surrounding vehicle pursuits with law enforcement.
And I think that there is a direct need here in Salt Lake and in Utah as a whole for policy changes around police chases.
With policies and practices varying by the law enforcement agency, Tripp wants to see changes across the board.
Ultimately, there should be a policy in place for all of Utah around high-speed pursuits. At what point is it too dangerous?
There are protocols in place that should have prevented this, but they are not as stringent as they could possibly be.
Tripp presented some of his research on pursuits and shared his hopes with legislators. It's these potential changes that are already gaining some interest on Capitol Hill.
I definitely think this can move forward. I think there's a lot of interest on the Democratic side. I think there'll be some interest on the Republican side. Every legislature wants to make good policies, and this seems like these policies wouldn't be too far-reaching if we tried to change them a little bit.
Tripp knows the process could take quite a while, but he's prepared to fight for the sake of his family with hope of saving others.
T fought for justice, and so, I mean, what am I supposed to do? I have to, It's like, aside from taking care of my family, it's my life's mission right now.
Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
According to North Salt Lake Police, pursuits should end if the risk is continuing to be reasonable, if it appears to be outweighing the risks of the suspect escaping. Salt Lake City Police are investigating the crash in line with officer-involved critical incident protocol.